The next thing to decide with your individual paper is where you're going to start on your wall. Now, the obvious choice would be to start from one corner and work along. That's what you can do most of the time. If your wallpaper had a standalone pattern in the middle of the paper and you wanted some sort of symmetry on the wall, you would put your first length, measure the centre of your wall, put your first length in the middle and work outwards. That would give you, if there was a big, say a big sort of floral pattern here, fleur-de-lis, something like that, the flock papers have those big patterns, then you'd want one big piece here, and then they would cut off equidistant symmetrically in the corners of the wall. This paper today is just a pattern where you're picking up half of a leaf there, and then you've got half of this kind of plant here. There's not going to be anywhere that it needs to go symmetrically across the wall, so I'll start in one corner with this. Which way you work is entirely up to you. Sometimes people say that you work from the furthest corner away, so if you were to overlap your paper it wouldn't show, but we're not going to overlap our paper. Our joints are going to be butted up nice and tight, no overlap, so that doesn't come into play. But we'll start from this right hand corner, and what we need to do is get a level line. We need to make sure our paper is level. We don't use the wall as a level, we create our own level. If you went into the corner of this wall with the right edge of your paper, if this wasn't vertically straight, then the rest of the paper would be out, and then you might not notice on your first two lengths, but by the time you got across to the end of the wall, whatever piece of pattern you had up here would disappear and it would stand out. So we want our paper to be level, particularly important obviously with stripes, geometrical designs. Abstract designs not so important, but rule of thumb, keep your paper nice and level. So I've mentioned that our paper is 20.5 inches, 52 centimetres wide. So I'll measure that distance on our wall. That is where our first length will sit, but I want this line to be level and I don't want the paper to be short there. So I'll take it over just ½ an inch and then I'll mark there. So instead of 20.5, I'll measure 20. That is where our paper will start. It will go that way, just lip round ½ an inch, and I'll trim off that excess, but I know this line will be level. So I'll use my level to draw our line. Get my glasses on so I can see the level, let alone the bubble. Putting that bubble between the two guidelines on your spirit level. There you go. I'll just run it down most of the wall. It doesn't have to be completely top to bottom, because once the paper starts level, as long as you brush it out top to bottom, not side to side, it will run level as you bring it down the wall. A little gadget I have is my, and I don't know if I mentioned it to you before, but I have a laser level. So I'll just turn that on. Now that's a self-leveling laser level I use, and as you can see, if I give it a little wobble, the lines just bounce around and then level up. So I have a level line that I could set there onto my level. That shows that my level for the spirit level, my line with the spirit level is absolutely fine. I can leave that on the wall there as I work, set my paper up, although I'll get in front of it sometimes. The majority of it's there. I also have a horizontal line going across the wall, that if there was a little pattern in the paper, as long as my pattern's hitting that line as well, because there are some papers that have no pattern, half and half, so there could be a half and half pattern that you have to match up. Some papers have a pattern like that you have to make sure you're running horizontally. That's where this line comes into play.